Hi and welcome back to this week's video. Today is a little bit of a different one because I'm not strictly talking about social media. This one is a little bit more general and business focused, and it's about why your business isn't growing as fast as you think it should. The nature of being a social media marketer with a strong focus on Facebook ads is that I often meet a lot of entrepreneurs who are on the startup journey. So they've just created a brand or they've only just had the idea and they're looking to get started. And because of that, I run into a lot of people who are wondering, why am I not growing as fast as I think I should? Or I've even had the comment, well, it was easy for you because you know how to do social media marketing, so you would have grown really fast, which is funny because that was not the case at all. In fact, I'm over 2 years into my business journey, and I would say I'm still only just out of the startup phase and into that heavy growth period. So it's just not applicable when you say, oh, it was easy for you. But I understand where they're coming from. Starting a business is hella frustrating, like insanely frustrating. You want to see growth, you know that what you're doing is right, but just no one's buying your shit, right? It's horrible, and it's probably one of the toughest times of your life, so I understand that frustration. And the thing is, even saying that, it's taken 2 years for my business to grow to where I'm happy with it and where I know that the growth is going to keep going, that's a particularly slow journey compared to some, but for some that's a considerably faster journey. And the problem is that there is no set time that you can expect to say, oh well, I put in the time and my business still isn't successful, so I might as well go back to my 9 to 5. There just isn't that situation. However, what you can do is you can look at what you're doing and say, well, is what I'm doing helping me grow faster? Now, I still want to preface this with, you cannot expect to be making sales even within 14 days of starting your business. And for some you can, if you've already grown an audience, and I'm talking you've got followers on social media or a network of friends who are there to buy your stuff. If you have no audience and you're literally starting from scratch, you are looking at 3 months of probably around 3 months of no sales while you build those audiences up and that trust. So that's the first hurdle. But that's an even bigger hurdle that you have to consider that some other people might not have if they do have that audience already. So what are we looking at? Well, if you don't think that the growth is happening as fast as you think it should, maybe you already have that audience to work from, or maybe it's been 3 months of building an audience and you're still not seeing sales, or you're not making as many sales as you believe you should be. The first step is to speak to other entrepreneurs, for starters, and get their opinion on whether, in relation to your business, because I can't make broad claims that, you could be selling ice and it's winter, I can't gauge where you're at. But speak to other entrepreneurs, not people who aren't business owners. I'm talking actual business owners, even if it's your friend who sells Mary Kay. It doesn't matter as long as there's someone who does selling in a freelance or a self-employed capacity. Ask them, I'm making X amount of sales. Is this where I should be? Or should I be further along? Or am I exceeding expectations? Make sure you're not surrounded by other yes men, or you're going to get a lot of things like, yeah, you should be doing way better than that and you're doing all the right things. I don't see how you're not doing that well. Or they might say, oh my gosh, you're doing amazing. That's incredible. You don't need to change anything. You want someone to take a good hard look at your business and say, I honestly think you're growing as fast as you could, but these are things you can do to improve. Someone like that is so much more valuable than having yes men around you. And that's the first step, is asking people who would know whether or not you are moving along at the pace that you should be. If you are moving along at the pace that you should be, and you can identify that you are doing everything you could be in terms of marketing, then honestly, just keep at it. It's a slow grind, it's a hard grind as a business owner, and nothing's really going to happen overnight for the majority of businesses. I know it's really trendy to see those entrepreneurs on Facebook particularly who had overnight success, but overnight success really doesn't happen to the vast majority of business owners. So don't gauge your success on that. Gauge your success on how you feel and whether it's sustainable what you're doing. If you are looking at your growth and saying, it's not moving fast enough and other people are agreeing with you, and they've identified that there are things that you aren't doing that you should be, then it's time to take a look at those things. So, firstly, I want you to look at your product. Is it actually a viable product? I mean, is there someone out there already offering what you want, or what you're offering, sorry, and is there any need for other people to be offering that? So, if I take the bread aisle at the supermarket, for instance, if you look at the bread aisle at the supermarket, there are so many different types of bread. Like, it's unbelievable. You might think, oh, well, everyone's making bread, but this one's whole grain, this one's white toast bread, this one's sourdough, this one's got fruit in it, or this one's the cheapest, or, all of these kind of things. So there's always a bread out there for someone, and there's always room for more innovation in that area. But the key there is that they're innovating. So no one is saying, I'm going to make the exact same branding, I'm going to make the exact same bread, it's going to be the exact same price, there's going to be no difference. No one is doing that. And if they are, they're going to find a very slow uphill crawl in order to achieve this. So if you look at the bread aisle, is there a way that you can take your business and innovate it in a way that there will be someone who wants to buy your bread or your business or your product? And that's where you need to start. This is again where it's really valuable to have other people in your life who aren't yes men. I want you to sit down with them and say, listen, would you actually buy my stuff? Would you, if you were, and point out your ideal audience and say, if you were this person, would you buy my stuff? And actually have them answer honestly. Yeah, it will suck if it turns out that your business product isn't viable. You've wasted a lot of time, and I know that that's horrible, but unfortunately, it just is the truth. But it's not the end of the world. It means that you've got to develop a new plan. Maybe you can take that product and innovate it further, or you can create a whole new product, but take all the lessons that you've learned with your first attempt and do an even better job this time. So it's not a lost cause. But if your product's not viable, that is the first step. The next step is to look at your content and your website. So your content is what you're putting out there on social media, or if you're doing advertising, or you're doing YouTube, or you're doing blogs. You should have content out there in some way, shape, or form. I want you to look at it and tell yourself honestly, if you were your ideal audience, would you connect with this? Would you want to buy from a company that is putting this out there? And if the answer is no, then it's time to make some changes. This is the same with your website, but you need to go even further. Is your website usable? I can say from the bottom of my heart that you can have the best product out there, but if your website doesn't show that or doesn't communicate why your product is so amazing, it's not going to sell. Websites are a dime a dozen these days, but good websites are going to be that extra bullet in your gun that is going to help you take out the competition. Jeez, that got violent really fast. So sorry. But basically what you're looking at is, have a functioning website. Does it load quickly? Is it easy to read? Is it easy to find your product? Does your product look appealing for the kind of people who will buy it? For instance, if I was marketing to an 80-year-old woman compared to a 20-year-old woman, they're going to be vastly different marketing, right? And the branding is going to be much, much different. But at the core of it, both of them want to access your product as easily as possible. So try and have a really well functioning website. If you've looked at your website and you've said, no, this is fantastic, then the next step is to look at your marketing techniques. So with your social media strategy, are you showing up every day with content on your Instagram stories? Are you going on live on Facebook? Are you sharing really rich content such as YouTube videos or blog posts or user reviews or testimonials, or, it needs to be really good, valuable content, and you need to be showing up all the time. I know that sounds like a lot of work and a lot of time, but that's business, baby. You're going to have to just funnel in all of your time into this business. So, sorry. Next, if you're doing that well, I want you to look into ads. And this is not just Facebook ads, although those will do fantastically, but also look into things like AdWords, SEO, paying experts to actually get to the core of your business and get it out to the people who want it. And if you've ticked all those boxes and it's still not growing, then either you need to start from the start again and talk to your friends, talk to other entrepreneurs and get some honest opinions, or talk to me and I'll give you my honest opinion. I won't beat around the bush. If you are looking to start a business, I'm so excited and happy for you, and I want you to start on the right foot, which is why I have just a $5 ebook, which you can get in the link below. Plus I have unlimited free content on all my social medias, which you can find below, and on this page, and on this YouTube channel, and on my blog post on my website. So honestly, the content's out there, the learning is out there. I know you can do it. You just need to take a good, hard, honest look at your product and have that knowledge there so you can do the best marketing job that you can do. I hope to see you with my next video, and I'll see you next week on Friday. Bye.